BetterFPS analyzes your GPU, CPU, and game to generate hardware-specific settings playbooks that boost frames per second. Free first playbook, one-time pricing per game. BetterFPS operates in 3 stages: hardware detection, AI modeling, and playbook generation. The entire process takes 15 to 30 seconds depending on the game's complexity and your hardware combination. You manually enter your GPU model, RTX 4070, RX 7800 XT, etc., CPU, Ryzen 7 7800X3D, i5 13600K, etc., and RAM amount. We don't auto-detect because we need exact SKU data. A 4070 Ti Super behaves differently than a base 4070. We also ask your target resolution, 1080p, 1440p, 4Ka, and whether you prioritize competitive frames per second or visual quality. This gives the AI its constraints. Our backend runs your hardware specs against a trained model that understands how each game setting impacts frame. Generic optimization guides give blanket advice. Turn textures to medium, shadows to low. BetterFPS accounts for your exact VRAM buffer. If you have an 8GB RTX 4060 Ti running Warzone at 1440p, high textures might push you into VRAM overflow and cause stutter. An RX 7900 XT with 20GB has no such limit. We tailor every recommendation to your card's memory topology and memory bandwidth. We also version track games. A January 2026 patch to the finals changed how dynamic resolution scaling interacts with AMD FSR 3.1. Our model regenerates playbooks when we detect engine updates or driver releases. Patch Watch subscribers get automatic playbook refreshes. You don't chase outdated. We currently support 42 games across competitive shooters: Warzone, Apex Legends, Valorant, CS2, The Finals, X-Defiant, Battle Royales, Fortnite, PUBG, and showaway single-player titles: Cyberpunk 2077, Starfield, Alan Wake 2. New games are added monthly based on user requests. For GPUs, we cover NVIDIA RTX 20 series through RTX 50 series, AIMD RX 5000 through RX 8000, and Intel Arc A series. CPU support includes Intel 9th Gen through 15th Gen and AMD Ryzen 3000 through 9000 series. Each game has unique optimization challenges. Warzone scales heavily with VRAM and CPU single-thread speed. Cyberpunk 2077 is ray tracing bound on mid-range cards. Valorant is CPU limited even on older GPUs. BetterFPS knows these quirks because the AI model trains. Your first playbook is free with no credit card required. After that, you have 3 pricing tiers. Game Pass costs $14.99 one time per game and gives you lifetime access to that game's playbook, including free regenerations whenever the game patches or GPU drivers update. You own it forever. Patch Watch starts at $4.99 a month and covers every supported game with auto regeneration. When Warzone gets a Season 4 patch, your playbook updates overnight. The annual plan is $49 saves 18% versus monthly, and lifetime is $140 for the first 500 buyers. Permanent access, all games, all updates. Most users start with the free playbook for their main game, if they see. BetterFPS is most valuable if you're GPU limited and your game has 30-plus configurable settings. Warzone, Cyberpunk, and Apex fall into this category. The sheer number of sliders makes manual optimization tedious. If you're playing a lightweight esports title like Valorant on a high-end GPU, RTX 4080 or better, you probably already hit 300-plus frames per second at default settings. Our playbook might squeeze another 40 frames per second, but you won't notice. Where we shine: mid-range GPUs, RTX 4060 Ti, RX 7700 XT, running demanding chillaway games at 1440p or 4K. BetterFPS also helps when you upgrade hardware. You buy an RTX 4070 Super to replace your old RTX 3060 Ti, you're saved. Once you generate your playbook, you'll see a prioritized list of settings with in-game menu paths. Here's the recommended workflow to get maximum frames per second safely without breaking your game's visuals. Enable your game's built-in frames per second counter or use MSI Afterburner so you can measure each change. Start with setting number 1. This is always the highest impact, lowest cost tweak. Often render resolution scaling or shadow quality. Apply the setting, restart the game if required, then test in a real match for 2 to 3 minutes to measure average frames per second. Move to setting number 2, apply, test again. Repeat down the list until you hit your target frame rate if a setting causes visual artifacts. Build your free playbook for any GPU at betterfps.com/optimize.